Hello folks, welcome to my second Let's Play, or rather, the Let's Play that I'll be doing in tandem to Dark Souls. This is Dungeon Lords, a fantasy RPG made by D.W. Bradley, in fact. I really don't know who the guy is. I'm guessing he's made a creepy game. This game is creepy. You might not think it's creepy because of its old graphics, but it is pretty darn creepy. Also, you will not see my mouse pointer in this. Sorry. You're not missing much. It's just a pointer that looks like it's an arrowhead filled with some kind of gem that glows. And when you click it, it sparks. And that's about it. That aside, Dungeon Lords is a Hieratic Park production. Or rather, it was developed by Hieratic Park and published by Dreamcatcher. And sorry, that the credits like to play randomly throughout here. And yeah. It was published in 2005, and it sucked. It's think about like the first PC version of Skyrim, and then they came out about a year later with the collector's edition. The collector's edition was the first one that I got, and I loved it. Oh god, it was great. And that's the edition that I have now. A few other things of note is I cannot change it from 800 by 600 resolution. It won't let me. Like, I switch it, right? But nothing will happen. I'm serious. Nothing will happen. There is random encounters. There are never not random encounters, pretty much. It's hard to explain. I'll show you exactly how random encounters work. Monster difficulty is, of course, how tough they are. There's no limit to how many they can spawn so far. I've seen an upwards of 30 or more creatures. Yeah, it's crazy. It has a pretty good soundtrack in here. I've lowered it down to 17% because it's loud. I think that's about all that I need to tell you. Then we can finally get into this game. And we can finally enjoy it. It is a really fun game. I'm seriously stoked to play this. In fact, one of my friends is stoked as well, and he might be getting the game, and he might join me in there, so you'll be able to see some jolly cooperation in the face of horrible dangers and hideous creatures. Seriously, it will be awesome. Let's see. I've already created a save to use, just to make sure it would work, because I had a problem with Playclaw in this program. It'd make it so that my saves did not work. But I found a way around that. If you're playing Dungeon Lords and you find that your save has an error, like some kind of a load error, like invalid slot, what you do is you go into the program, you have to find the application, which is kind of hard because they just kind of throw all their files into the folder. And what happens is you can't do anything with it. I know that's hard. That's stupid, but you have to sift through all the files and then find the application. Right-click on it, go into Properties, Run as Administrator, and run it in Windows XP Service Pack 3. I just had to say that before I get really into the game. This is Boreg Lockbreaker. He's going to be a rogue because in this game there are lots of locked chests, and you do not get a companion. You are not able to unlock chests. Alright, so rogue is your base class. These are right here. I'm sorry, I can't point to them right now. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. I bet in game I will be able to. I just wanted to show you what the create a character interface is. Like you'll see heraldry, strength, intellect, dexterity, agility, vitality, and honor, and all that stuff. And I will be able to mouse over them once I'm in game. I could try to make an entirely new character, but why not? Let's do it. Make new character. I'll show you how this works. Here, you can be a human male, a human female. Now you see, there's a subtle difference in stats. Yeah, this game actually takes into account the different capabilities of the male and female members of the race. Humans, pretty standard. Urgoths. Urgoths are the beast race. They seem to resemble orcs, but they seem to resemble orcs with more pointed ears. They're kind of ugly. I mean, seriously. Higher resolution, these things are really ugly. I'll see if I can get a higher resolution running sometime, but don't count on it. Dwarves! No dwarven females. Weird. Wylan, they look like really weird coyote people. And they have, is it called digitigrade legs? I used to remember the terminology with this because I was curious as to what it was. Morrowind used to have digigrade or whatever it's called. That's basically where they don't have human-shaped feet, and that's why they didn't fit boots. But apparently this isn't the case because he has like socks on, I guess. I don't know. Elves. There are elves in this game. The elves are weird. Personally, I don't like playing as an... Sorry about this. You're going to see a freeze in the video right now because I forgot to go over 2 of the other races in this. And the 2 other races are the Zaur and the Thrall. And right now I'm talking about the Zaur. The Zaur is a lizard man with the digigrades, as you can see, and they're scaly people. They're tough. They're not so intelligent. And they're kind of quick too. They sort of, you know, they're lizard people. And that, you know, that's all you need to know. The Thralls, I believe, for some reason, I think they speak with a British accent or an approximation of it. And hold on, I'm pulling up the little screenshot that I made in my Movie Maker so I can actually see it. There it is. They are small, like the dwarf. You know, they're shorter. And they have a really creepy grin. They look sort of like more bestial versions of goblins. I think supposedly the beast races, the Thrall, the Urgoth, the Zaur, and the Wylan were all created by something. I don't remember. We will figure that out later in game. This is just going to be a little late narration that I got to add because I did not go over them in the video, and it kind of burdens me because I didn't. Yeah, and without further ado, we'll continue our normal speaking. Sorry. So, our character is a dwarf. And we're basically just going to make the character that I had in this. Now here's the fighter. You can see on the bottom thing. Fighters receive bonuses to weapon, armor, and shield skills. That means that these are cheaper. You use your advance points up at the top left hand, right beside the warrior icon, which is on the side of the character portrait that is moving. Not the one that's on the far top left hand side. The one that's in the center of the screen, the animated portrait, or the animated representation of the character. Sorry, I don't have a mouse pointer right now, and if I try and enable it, it just makes a big black box. And then you have your weapon skills. But fighters will receive bonuses to weapons, armor, and shields, which means that they will learn them easier. It costs them less points. The advance points over there, next to the class icon, is basically are your class choosing currency, or advancement currency. You spend points into your skills and into your stats to advance them. He's right-handed. Skin color, I think, is that. Hairstyle. This. Hair color. Very, 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 very few customizations. Kind of sad. And get used to that zoom, zoom sound. It will happen in this interface constantly, especially if I'm doing it quickly. So, sorry. Alright, now I can actually show you what these are. Strength. Allows you to use heavier armor. I put 2 points in there like this. Intellect. Allows you to learn skills in magic more easily. Skills in magic include this. Arcane magic, which basically determines how powerful your arcane spells are. Arcane spells come from spell books. Those spell books, you do not learn them. They stay within your inventory, and they count as your charges. When you use a spell book, the charge is expended, however the spell book remains, and will gradually recover that charge. And I believe that depends on your arcane magic skill. Celestial magic uses magic from crystals, and it encompasses healing spells and lightning bolts, i.e. smiting magic, you know, divine casters. Nether magic is very interesting. It is the quote-unquote insidious spellcasting. You take reagents of creatures like bat wings, rat tails, and all that, and you mix them together. And you create your spells from that, like fear, summoning. Yeah, you can summon. And it doesn't summon one creature, it summons a cluster. And depending on how powerful your nether magic is, it's how many you can summon. Yeah, that's kind of freaky, isn't it? Then we have rune magic. Rune magic is by far one of the most irritating to cultivate because it requires runes, and these runes are used in combinations. Imagine having 3 spellbooks, or 3 celestial crystals, and you have to have all 3 runes in order to use it. And those runes all have to be charged. So they use a lot of power, and oftentimes the runes are really, really expensive. It's the most expensive, and it generally has earth-based spells. It's almost like druid magic in a way, but not. It's cool, but not wondrously effective. Now here are the skills that we need. Inspect. That allows you to look at a lock and determine how hard it is, what you need to do to unlock it, and all that stuff. I will show you this later in the game. Hold on, I gotta create another video. Sorry, this description's gone a long time. I'm going to put it that this is a video for describing the... Right, apparently my previous start and stop record button messed up some stuff, so yeah. Basically, all it did was kick me back into this menu. It's not that big of a deal. So, what I was talking about was the thief skills, which are essential. However, I'm not sure if you have to be a thief to use these skills. Hold on. Let me check something. It might change what character I'm picking. I see. However, it affects stealth and stealing. Stealing is kind of nice. There's a reason why I picked thief all the time. Bonus to all thief skills. Do I need that? Oh, I used to be really, 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 really good at picking locks. I could pick this. Let's just go with the one that I've chosen. It doesn't matter too terribly much, actually. And I'll let you know exactly why. Anyway, so we have the thief, right? And I forgot to start my timer, so this video might be long. So, yes, we have the thief. Tuna swing. Anyway, yes, picking locks determines your ability to pick locks. But it's not the one that you'll be using all the time. What you'll be actually using all the time is Disarm Trap. Almost every single treasure chest, including one of the first ones in the game, are trapped. I kid you not, they are trapped, and they will try to freaking kill you. No fooling, they will try to kill you. So Disarm Trap is very useful, and I'm sorry, I can't show you which one Disarm Trap is because you still can't see my mouse pointer. It's on the bottom. Like, you can see the tabs of skills: weaponry, defense, general, magic, thief. Third one to the right hand side is Disarm Trap, and that's where we are. Then there's Sneak, grants enhanced strike bonus when attacking from flank behind. Uses chances monsters will target you when allies are present. So Sneak is sort of an ability that you use when you have allies within game. Steal is a good one. It's when you attack, you have a chance of stealing. And yes, you can get extra items from people. General skills are nice. Repairing, hold on, we're up to general. There's athletics, and those allow you to swim, avoid falling damage. And avoiding falling damage, it can be pretty nice. And then it allows you to use evasives, like, you know, leaping side to side, rolling, jumping, backflipping. Basically, it's like, huzzah, you cannot take me, ho ho. Scout allows you, denotes your mapping skill. Now, mapping in this is a very, very general term. You only ever have a mini-map. You do never, ever, 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 ever have a mega-map. So it's slightly more kind than Dark Souls, but however, Dark Souls is semi-linear. This is kind of linear, but at the same time it's not, especially when you're traveling from one end of the continent to the other. Bargaining, it's selling things to shopkeepers, blah blah blah. You don't need to know that one too much. Repairing is interesting. You can repair every once in a while, meaning you can try to repair something, and if you succeed, it repairs a few points, depending on your skill. And it determines how many uses you have before you have to wait. And waiting, I think, is a 24-hour period. There's parrying, which is... I'm not exactly sure. I think it denotes your parry skill that's down on the left-hand side, down at the bottom where it says parry, influence. It's just above the go back button. Light armor. Light armor is good. It protects you, and it's the first armor you'll get in the game. In fact, I think he's wearing light armor, so it's a good idea to get the skill from the beginning, otherwise you'll be at a penalty just by wearing it. This penalties are fun. We'll discuss them later. There's medium armor. Medium armor encompasses chainmail and all armors like that. Light armor is leather armor, of course. Shields. Shields are a very good idea in this game. I kid you not, blocking is important. Medium shields, blocking is more important. I would like to eventually get heavy shields, and that's where you can use Barrowgrim's shields and things like that. And oh, I love the Barrowgrim shield. Don't get me started on that thing. I will show it to you later if I can get it. Light weapons, short staffs, daggers, small swords. You know, light weapons. Think D&D terms. This game does have a lot of D&D elements, and you could probably see them in here at least a little bit. And there's medium weapons. You know, that's where you're getting, you know, the hurting people weapons, long swords. I think a fang tip blade is a long sword, and oh, I love that one as well. I think the Barrowgrim Knights use it as well. Light poles. Poles are alright. I don't really like them that much. Throwing weapons, I generally prefer bows. But you get throwing weapons from the get-go, so yeah. It's good to put a couple points in there if you're a rogue. Here's the thing. With each class that you start, it determines your starting equipment. If you start out as a mage, you start out with a spell. If you're a rogue, I think you start out with throwing weapons and light armor, and you have a weapon, of course. So it's always good to put 1 point into light weapons, put a point into armor, put a point into throwing weapons. If you are a rogue, I think if you're a warrior, it'd be a good idea to put a point into shield, or if you're a cleric, because a cleric, I believe, starts out with a mace and a shield. Don't quote me on it, I'm not entirely sure. With almost my entire first video burned up into dust, I think that's a good place to stop it. The next video will be us in-game, and I'll show you the first bit of gameplay. Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to go over the basics, just to make sure that people understood this, because this game is very complicated, and I wouldn't want viewers to be confused. And yeah, I just figured, why not? I'll just put a skip option in here. They'll tell you that this is just describing the gameplay functions. We continue, and we have another customization. Yep, another one. And that would be, oh yeah, if you don't use all your points, you can use them in game. You do not have to worry; these do not go away unless you die. And unless you die, they will remain with you. I usually pick the Fool of Fortune, and that's the guy dancing off to the side. It gives you a bonus to luck. I have no idea what it does, but I like luck. Luck is always my favorite stat, hands down. The Acrobatic, more speed, athletics, that's a good one. The Astrologer is your celestial magic, gives you 10% bonus on it. It's pretty good. That's a bonus to Arcane Magic, 10%, and the Lady and the Lion gives you +2 to Strike. Strike denotes your ability to hit people. Sorry, I didn't go over that one either. Life is, of course, your health. Strike is your ability to hit people. You know, it determines whether or not you hit. So it's sort of like Morrowind in a sense, where you have to swack, 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 swack. It's not like Oblivion, where if your sword makes contact, you hit them. Damage is, of course, your bonus damage. Speed is how fast you can attack and move and use your abilities. So if you have a really high speed, you can cast really fast. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. Not good to have. Dwarves have an ineptness towards it. Their agility costs more to increase than other stats like strength. Parry is your ability to block blows, and I'm not sure what your influence does. I'll have to look that one up. Anyway, that is the end of the first video. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the second one and get to some fighting. Fighting some goblins.